This is TWiT.
What else do we want to talk about here? Chromebook X, is this notable?
This is just that this is a report going out that they're going to mark high-level Chromebooks officially. So Chromebooks that can do the gaming, Chromebooks that can do other things. And so it's going to be a brand. I wish it were a new Chromebook that Google were producing. No such luck.
Yeah, I know,
but
right?
They're just going to separate out the quality here.
Who knows? Maybe Google will have its own Chromebook X, the Pixel X Chromebook.
That's cruel. That's cruel.
Give them something. Give them something to kill in a couple of years. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Chromebook X it's probably a good thing. They're going to have a bunch of specs to aspire to for manufacturers. So a certain amount of RAM, a certain quality of camera. It's going to be optimized. They're kind of guaranteeing that it'll be good for video calls, Zoom calls, et cetera, and minimum processor configurations. So it's a new standard that hardware manufacturers will have to get to if they want to charge the higher price for the Chromebook X. I think in general it's a good idea. Right now it's more nebulous. There are high-end Chromebooks, low-end Chromebooks, and now there's an actual material tier that consumers can rely on to provide a certain degree of quality, and that manufacturers can aspire to sell in the higher echelon. So I think it's probably a good thing.
My Chromebook, my Pixelbook is one by one. It's fallen apart. The microphone doesn't work anymore. The touch screen doesn't just suddenly stop working. So I'm going to have to make the decision. Right now it's that expensive HP, but it's going to be my luck that I'll go ahead and buy it, and then 1 month later there'll be some amazing machine, Chromebook X, and I won't be able to get it.
That's how the world works, right? So this is the original Pixelbook 2017, right? So you've got 6 years out of that. Do you feel like, if
it's a Pixelbook Go?
Oh, the Pixelbook. Oh, so a little bit later.
A little later. Yeah, no. I don't
right?
Things don't last that long with me. I'm not cruel to
2019
keyboards like Stacy. Yeah. But
dang, so it's disintegrating after 4 years.
Oh yeah.
That's disappointing.
That is disappointing. Yeah.
That's not long enough for. God, that's not even long enough for a phone, let alone a laptop.
No. So maybe just as well I leave Google hardware, but
the original Pixelbook, I have to say, that was a fantastic machine. Oh, I always loved working on that computer. And I think my experience with that opened me up to the understanding that a higher end Chromebook deserves to exist, because that was a really wonderful, long-lasting, performant Chromebook. Yes, it's a browser computer, but still, it felt premium and it was enjoyable to use for that reason. And sure, it's not for everybody, but if you want to buy a high spec, probably more expensive Chromebook X computer, you should be able to, dang it. And
suffer the abuse of people who say, you're spending that much for a Chromebook?
On a browser? I've got a browser on my phone.
Yeah. I got to say that I don't know if you guys have talked about the company Sightful and its Spacetop device on this show or other shows on the TWiT network.
Sightful Spacetop.
This is a direction I'd love to see Google go in with Chromebook. So Sightful is an Israeli startup that used to be called Multinarity, and they recently released 1,000 units. It's kind of like a beta program type thing of a device called a Spacetop, what they call an AR laptop. So basically what this thing is, it's a device about the size of a laptop, but instead of a screen, it has augmented reality glasses that I believe are tethered. And so it's unlike Apple's AR product. This doesn't do all the things. It just gives you a virtual screen, and a big one, like 100-inch screen floating in space in front of you. Okay. And then you run the apps. It has a kind of a customized operating system, but the operating system works like a Chromebook. So they're all cloud apps, right? It doesn't run Windows or any sort of desktop operating system. It's its own operating system, runs cloud apps. So you can run Gmail, all those kinds of things. I would love to see Google get into this because it's a really great idea. Now, the way that they've done the Spacetop is very clever. It actually has a port for plugging in a physical display, but it doesn't come with a physical display, just the glasses. So you can use it as a regular device in your home office or in your workplace, and then you can pick it up and you can go to Starbucks and you can use the goggles and you have a 100-inch screen in this tiny portable
What's the input device? Is there a keyboard?
It's a keyboard, mouse, all that stuff. Yeah. So it's the bottom half is like a regular laptop. It has ports like a regular laptop for peripheral devices. It uses Bluetooth like a regular laptop. It connects to Wi-Fi like a regular laptop. The difference is that the default mode is you put on AR goggles and you have this giant screen in front of you. And so this would be a great direction for Google. Google should have launched this product, and they launched this before Apple launched the Vision Pro. And of course, the Vision Pro has the feature of showing you your Mac OS applications floating in space, but it also does all these other things as well that are more high-end, more 3D kind of Magic Leap type stuff. Mm-hmm. But I love the idea of a cloud-based device like a Chromebook that has it's like a virtual laptop with a virtual screen. It's just very efficient, I think, in terms of processor power, in terms of the low cost you could have, in terms of the educational capabilities of having this virtual screen. We're entering into an era of augmented reality, and I would love to see Chromebook go in that direction. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Wonder how high, I think technology like this is dependent on the screens that you're looking at being high res enough that that text that you're probably looking a lot at isn't going to fall apart. Do you happen to know? Like the demos seem to make it seem like it's not a big deal, but that it's sufficient as far as that's concerned.
Right.
But I wonder how that actually looks.
None of the AR units are as high def as the Vision Pro that Apple announced, but they're also not $3,500.
Right.
And so they're selling these for $2,000 each. Yeah. And they're probably much lower res than the Vision Pro, but people who have tried it in person say that it's good enough, and you can read text on it, and you can do all those kinds of things. And that the reviews of the hands-on reviews have been fairly positive. The biggest problem with this is this kind of a low power device. It doesn't have, it is battery operated, but the battery life is very low, like, I don't know, just a few hours, that kind of thing. But I really believe in this idea of having a virtual screen with an optional physical screen, and I think it's ideal for Google. But again, they're off in the weeds on this stuff, and this was done by this tiny Israeli startup as the first mover, and it should have been Google, I think.
Yeah, if only they had capitalized on their early to market with a Google Glass and taken that somewhere. I mean, they were obviously too early, but they were there first. I would say they were the major player that was there first, so that definitely accounts for something. And now we're starting to kind of see the fruits of that happen now. I think it's still kind of, though, at least in my mind, it still needs to prove itself. Like, even once the Apple Vision Pro comes out,
amen.
I still am not entirely convinced that that's how I want to compute all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I want to be in a visor, but maybe that's just because I haven't done it. Like, maybe it would be great. Certainly find out. $2,000 for that early access. That's interesting.
Yeah, it very well could be great. But the big difference is that, the problem with Google Glass to a certain extent was that it wasn't it was augmented reality, but it wasn't. Yeah. It was a heads up display. If you move your head, the screen moves. Right. Whereas with both Apple's product and the Sightful product I've been talking about, the screen stays put, and when you move your head, you look at different parts of the screen. That's the kind of AR for general computing that makes a lot of sense. And the beauty of this concept is that, HoloLens, Microsoft HoloLens, and Magic Leap spent so much time figuring out how to anchor virtual objects in 3D physical real space. Right? They demonstrated characters not only standing on the table but hiding behind the table.
Right.
You have to map a 3D environment. Apple's Vision Pro maps the 3D environment. This product dispenses with all that, the need for all that technology, and it has its anchoring point as exclusively being the laptop itself. So they have built-in hardware that
that's
enables
neat. I like that.
the screen to anchor there, and they don't have to map your 3D space. There's no mapping. It's just something that floats in space over the laptop. You can move it forward and back and stuff like that, but it's all based on where the laptop physically is, because they have some technology that tells the virtual space to sort of center itself over the laptop. And so, I love the efficiency of that. It's a new idea, and it's not going to go anywhere, unfortunately, because it's a tiny little Israeli company. But I think I think Google should buy them immediately if they're not with a year, at least within a year of launching a product like that of their own based on the Chromebook operating system. So I would love to see the Vision Pro have a lower cost browser-based competitor.
Who knows, Jeff? Your next Pixelbook could be a Pixel Glass.
No, I've been there. Fool me once.
Hey, I know you're super busy, so I won't keep you long, but I wanted to tell you about a show here on the TWiT network called Tech News Weekly. You are a busy person, and during your week, you may want to learn about all the tech news that's fit to, say, not print, here on TWiT. It's Tech News Weekly. Me, Micah Sargent, my co-host, Jason Howell. We talk to and about the people making and breaking the tech news, and we love the opportunity to get to share those stories with you and let the people who wrote them or broke them share them as well. So I hope you check it out every Thursday right here on TWiT.